We're sitting down with Marshall Goldfarb now, running for USC president. Marshall, welcome.
Thank you.
Now tell me first off, when did you decide to run for president, and briefly, why?
I decided, the idea first occurred to me in September. I'd spoken around to people, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. Then in the exam break, rather than studying for exams, I was talking with my friends about, well, what's going on at the USC, what's happening around here. And we were talking, and she's like, well, why don't you run? Like, we had all these ideas in our heads, and she's like, well, why don't you run? So over the break, I was frantically trying to put things together. I know a lot of people had been starting back in September, so I was putting things together, and about right when we got back from the break, that's when we formed our team, and everything's been rolling since then.
I guess on the same note, I'm really curious to hear what's with the delay in the launch of the website, launch of the video. Why wasn't everything up at full blast, so we had to wait to find out about you?
The delay was, I wanted everyone to kind of get comfortable with where they are. Like, we're not running the traditional campaign. We want people to really wait and see what's going on. I wanted to also get a feel of what everyone else is doing. Like, I'm new to this whole election process. I'm new to the USC, so I really wanted to see what's out there, what people are up to. And like, we came out halfway. We did the 24-hour delay, and we put out half our campaign, and the other half of the campaign is coming out next week, and that's going to be the big part of our campaign. So we're excited about it.
Okay, now let's get right into it. Let's talk about the USC, obviously a big part of this. Tell me what the USC can do better to enhance its mission statement.
I think the USC, a lot of it is they really don't reflect with students. They really, they want to provide to students and provide opportunities to students and provide services to students, but there's kind of that lack. They're kind of providing it to 500 or 600 kids that are out there, but there's tons of students that aren't being represented. There's thousands of students that just want to come to campus to do their own thing and not get involved, and that's kind of what I want to change. I want to say, well, let's start this Western atmosphere. Let's start this new culture here at Western, where, like the States, everyone gets excited about Western, and everyone gets excited about being on campus.
Great. Well, I know a lot of people are excited about your cheap lunch ideas, so I think we should talk. I flipped through the finances on your website about how you think it's going to break down sort of affordably, and I noticed it doesn't talk about overhead costs or anything like that. So I wonder if you could comment on how much you actually think it's going to cost when we start talking about overhead, labor, space, all the different costs that are associated with actually like running a business. We can't just set up a table and start making PB&J,
Yeah, of course,
right?
of course. And one of the big costs with restaurants is the actual cost of food, and that's what we've displayed on our website. We showed the cost of food at $1.40, and of course that'll go down when you buy in bulk. With regards to labor costs, we did touch upon a bit on labor costs. We touched upon you have one staff working throughout the day, you have one staff serving, or you could have up to two. These are feasibilities that you can come out with afterwards. Plus you have 2 staff or 3 staff, up to 3 staff, preparing in the morning, preparing these sandwiches 2 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the morning, whatever it takes. And when you divide it out amongst the hundreds of products that we're expecting to sell, it's a small additional cost. It works out to cents per sandwich, about 40 or 50, and we have the numbers at home. We've run the numbers. Also, with regards, there's wrapping on everything. There's costs of actually running the place, like electricity and stuff. And these are additional costs that we have left room for. I was not able to obtain the exact numbers. These numbers aren't available online of how much we allocate to the actual yogurt bar that we have now. But we did leave room within our break-even to allow for that. And what it comes down to is we're not trying to make a profit. We want to produce a sandwich for exactly $3 and give it to students for exactly $3.
Okay, I want to go back to what you talk about in terms of a sense of community, which you talk a lot about. I'm still interested specifically in ways that you're going to engage students that frankly don't care about the USC. They know it exists, they know it functions, and that's where they leave it. How do you plan to engage those students? And there are a lot of them.
Yeah, there are tons of students, and what we want to do is we really want to start from first year. We want to get first year students really engaged. We have thousands of students in each of our residences and tons more off campus, and we really want to, by expanding our promotions team here at Western, by working with Western Mustang, and one thing we talk about in our platform is the better distribution of Mustang athletic tickets. This year, tickets to athletic games were free. However, most people didn't know about this. So by fostering the community, by getting people excited about events, by introducing tailgating down at the stadium, by really putting tickets into people's hands, working with first-year staff, if a res wants to throw an event, they should be able to promote through the USC and use the USC's resources to work with these students. And that's really what we're trying to do.
I'm glad you brought up promotions. We talk a lot about the Hype team.
Yep.
And your platform contains a lot of different ideas about how to improve the team. I'm curious how your idea of adding residents, faculty, and affiliate representatives differs at all from its current structure.
Its current structure, it doesn't have representatives associated with the actual council positions. And so there's a lot of disconnect, like people on social science, if they talk within their councils about trying to get involved, they want to throw an event, social science ball, they have to go and approach Hype. They have to go out and say, Hype, well, this is something we want to do. By having a restructure, by having representatives on each council, the Hype person at the meeting will be, well, actually, Hype does these kinds of promotions. We can get out there and work with you. And by having these within Elgin, within Saugeen, within all the affiliates, it better reaches out into those hands. Also with Hype, what we wanted to do is really expand it. I know a couple years ago, it was a larger organization, had a stronger presence, and this year they're trying to reorganize and rebuild from the inside, and that's a good sentiment. But really what we have to do is have that strong organization and have the people excited about joining Hype. Hype should be something exciting. It's the fun team to join. Like, if you want to get involved, you do Hype. Like, just like right now how it is, you do sophing, you want to get really hands-on, it should be the same with Hype, and people should be excited about that.
Marshall, for the past 6 years, every USC president that's been elected has had extensive USC experience. You have none. Mm-hmm. How would you be able to effectively handle this role without USC experience?
I think a lot of the stuff, I'm a very quick learner, and that comes with a lot of my training with legal. I don't have an official training, but I have been looking at legal documents since a young age. And I'm able, over time, I've been able to adapt and really look at a situation and analyze it and really look at the rules and regulations and be able to form everything around it. And that's how we came up with our platform. With regards to USC experience, I will be able to learn quickly on the job. I have been learning tons in the past few weeks, and a lot of that has been shown in our platform. And the other half of it is the USC isn't just about being a political body. It's about A, being a business, and B, being like an entrepreneurial spirit. We have tons of students who want to get involved and others who don't want to get involved, but you have to engage all of them. And you have to be energetic and to be able to understand the business side of it as well. And through my program, BMOS, which is a combination of the business side of things and the social science side of things, it's really given me perspective on understanding both the corporation side of the UCC as well as this USC, as well as the political side of it.
So lots of talk in a lot of different platforms about the Greek community and engaging them better and sort of incorporating them into the umbrella of the USC. So where's the meat in your promise to sort of get Greeks as a separate body? How does that work so people really understand what you mean by that?
Well, that's exactly what, I've spoken to a lot of the leaders in the Greek community, and the number one concern is they can't get access to the resources of the USC. They want to be able to advertise their promotions on campus. They want to get people involved in their charity events, but they're unable to so far. And with current policies, that exists because they can't apply for clubs, because if they want to be a club, then they have to give up control of their financing. They have to apply to USC insurance policies, and that's kind of a problem. So what we want to do is we want to make a new policy that gives them access to things like Hype, gives them access to use these promotion teams, give them access to tables and space within the UCC and on Concrete Beach to allow them to promote their philanthropic events, to allow them to get their name out there. And what we're doing is we want to establish a third entity at the UCC, the USC, sorry. So not just clubs, not just services, but also Greek. And by doing that, we will work with insurance policy providers so that their insurance covers us. So that when they throw an event, we're not held liable, we're not responsible, our insurance is exempt from it, and this way we can work with them. Another thing with fraternities, by recognizing them, you're putting accountability on them. Meaning, if you want to stay recognized by the USC, sometimes you have to shape up your act, which is another concern of the USC. Like, the Greek kind of has a stigma. And by putting that pressure on them, by saying, you know what, you want to be affiliated, you have to behave yourselves to an extent. And it's a fair balance between the two.
Okay, we've got about 30 seconds left. I want you to address students now, convincing them that obviously you're a legitimate candidate in this race.
We're definitely a serious candidate, and what we do is we reach out beyond the 500, 600 people involved in the USC. We're reaching out to all 18, 19, 20,000 plus students at Western, trying to say, get involved, get connected. Our platform really applies to everyone. So I encourage everyone to really check out our platform and know what's going on.
Perfect. Thanks a lot for sitting down with us today.
Thank you so much.